Jade stormed into the lecture hall, her eyes immediately landing on the tall figure standing at the front. Ryan Archer, her biggest rival in the business program. She clenched her jaw, suppressing a sigh. Since freshman year, they had been in an unspoken competition, each determined to come out on top. Their professors noticed their rivalry, classmates whispered about it, and they both thrived on pushing each other. Today, however, the stakes had changed. Their professor, Dr. Morgan, cleared his throat as he finished handing out the assignment guidelines. For this project, you'll be working in pairs, he announced, his voice carrying over the murmurs. And I've decided on the teams. First pair, Jade Matthews and Ryan Archer. Jade's stomach dropped. She glanced over at Ryan, who looked equally displeased, his jaw tightening as he ran a hand through his hair. As Dr. Morgan continued listing the other pairs, Jade made her way to Ryan, ready to establish some ground rules. "Looks like we're stuck together," she said, crossing her arms. Ryan's mouth twitched into a smirk. "Guess so. But just because we're working together doesn't mean I'm going easy on you." Jade rolled her eyes. "I wouldn't expect you to. But let's be clear, I intend to maintain my GPA, and I won't let you mess that up." "Fine by me," Ryan replied. "As long as you don't slow me down." They agreed to meet later that evening to brainstorm. But both were silently determined to make sure their input would outweigh the others. Jade arrived early to secure the best seat, armed with a notebook full of ideas. When Ryan entered, she noticed he had his own notebook and what looked like a stack of market research reports. He raised an eyebrow, seeing her organized setup. "Starting early, I see," he remarked. Jade shrugged. "Just trying to be efficient." "Right. So, what's your idea?" Ryan asked, taking a seat across from her. She launched into her pitch, detailing her concept for a marketing campaign targeting young consumers. Ryan listened, nodding occasionally, but when she finished, he immediately countered with his own plan, a strategy focused on sustainability, leveraging social media to engage eco-conscious audiences. Both ideas had potential, and neither was willing to back down. "Your approach is good," Jade conceded. "But it lacks focus on our target demographic. We should appeal directly to young professionals, not just eco-conscious consumers." "And yours is creative, but it's missing the broader trends in consumer behavior," Ryan countered. "Sustainability is a major focus, and we can't ignore that." They argued back and forth, each critiquing the other's proposal. The tension was palpable, and they spent hours dissecting each other's ideas until finally, exhausted, they agreed to merge their concepts. By the time they left the library, it was almost midnight. "I still think my idea has the stronger foundation," Jade said as they walked out, breaking the silence. Ryan chuckled, shaking his head. "Keep dreaming, Matthews." Over the next few weeks, they worked late nights in the library, navigating each other's strengths and weaknesses. Jade was brilliant at dissecting data and strategizing, while Ryan had a knack for crafting compelling narratives. Despite their competitive natures, they began to recognize each other's skills, and their bickering softened into something more like teamwork. One evening, after a particularly productive session, Ryan leaned back, looking at Jade thoughtfully. "You know, you're not as unbearable as I thought," he said, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. Jade smirked. "High praise coming from you, Archer. You're not so bad yourself." For a moment, they just looked at each other, and Jade felt a strange warmth settle between them. She quickly shook it off, chalking it up to sleep deprivation. As their project took shape, so did a tentative friendship. They started grabbing coffee together before meetings and sharing stories about the professors and classes they found toughest. Jade was surprised to find that beneath Ryan's competitive exterior, he was genuinely kind and funny. He cared deeply about his work and had big dreams of starting his own consulting firm one day. One night, as they were putting the finishing touches on their presentation, Ryan shared a story about why he'd chosen business in the first place. "My dad started his own business, and I used to watch him struggle. We went through some tough times," Ryan admitted, his usual bravado softened. "I guess I just want to make him proud, you know." Jade's heart softened. "I get it," she said quietly. "My mom's a single parent, and I want to do well for her. I want to make sure she doesn't have to worry about me." They shared a quiet moment, each realizing that their ambition wasn't just about ego or grades, it was about the people they loved. After that night, they saw each other in a new light. Their rivalry gave way to mutual respect, and they began to genuinely root for each other's success. When the day of the presentation arrived, they were ready. They stood side by side, presenting their project with seamless transitions, each supporting the other's points. Their classmates watched in awe as Jade and Ryan, the two most competitive students in the program, worked together in perfect harmony. After they finished, Dr. Morgan stood up, applauding their work. "That was impressive," he said. "You two make a great team." Jade and Ryan exchanged a smile, a silent acknowledgement of everything they had accomplished together. As they walked out of the lecture hall, adrenaline still coursing through their veins, Ryan turned to Jade. "Want to grab a celebratory coffee? Or, dinner?" he asked, hesitating slightly. Jade raised an eyebrow, surprised. "Are you asking me out, Archer?" Ryan shrugged, feigning nonchalance. "Depends. Are you saying yes?" Jade laughed, feeling a warmth spread through her. "Sure, why not?" They found a cozy cafe near campus, and as they sat across from each other, the tension that had once been between them was replaced by a sense of ease. They talked about everything: life, their dreams, even the ridiculous moments from their time competing against each other. If someone had told me last year that I'd be sitting here with you, I would have laughed," Jade admitted, smiling. "Same here," Ryan replied. "But I'm glad we got paired up. Turns out, you're not half as annoying as I thought." Jade rolled her eyes, playfully nudging him. "And you're not as insufferable as I thought." They shared a laugh, and for the first time, Jade allowed herself to see Ryan not as her competition, but as someone she could truly connect with. She found herself wondering what it might be like to spend more time with him, outside of classes and projects. As the semester continued, Jade and Ryan's friendship grew, slowly edging into something deeper. They still competed, but it was different now, good-natured and filled with respect. They challenged each other, but they also supported one another. One night, as they were studying together, Ryan looked at Jade, his expression serious. "Jade, I know we both have big goals, and I know you're as driven as I am. But I don't want to pretend that I don't have feelings for you. I like you a lot," he said, his voice soft. "And I don't know if this will complicate things, but I think it's worth it." Jade's heart skipped a beat. She had been trying to ignore her growing feelings for him, afraid of where it might lead, but hearing him say it out loud made her realize she felt the same. "I like you too, Ryan," she admitted, smiling. "And I think we're both strong enough to figure this out." They agreed to take things slowly, balancing their relationship with their studies and ambitions. And though they sometimes fell back into their competitive banter, they both knew that they were stronger together than they had ever been alone. In the end, Jade and Ryan discovered that they didn't need to fight each other to succeed. Together, they were a team, one that pushed each other to be better, one that understood the unique struggles and dreams they both carried. And as they stood side by side, looking toward the future,